two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Okay. I'm gonna have to close the app, aren't I? Oh no. All right. Hey everyone. Steve here with a potential problem that I didn't think would be a problem. How's everyone doing today? All right, who have we got in the house? I'll get to that later. So, a few people here before we even started. So, just looking back up here. Thanks for those that all joined early. Welcome to some familiar faces here, as usual. It's good to see. Here we got Cremimona Mota. Where is everybody? Let's do a roll call. Where is everybody in the world? If you didn't know, I'm in South Korea. It's Monday morning. I've got a bit of a cold, and so I've got some coffee. And so I do apologize if I have a bit of a more of a rough voice today. So you're going to watch later? No problem at all. Same with Anthony. Good. Hey, Ginger Digger, good to see you again. Sean Davis, good to see you again. All right, who have we got as well? We've got Jeremiah Slater. You've seen a few reviews. Yeah, that's going to be today's topic. We'll get to that again soon. If this is going to be possible, I need to work this out. Rhino bought this plugin on the Black Friday sale, so that's excellent. I'm not going to say this is going to be hella helpful for you, because this is going to be like my kind of first experience with it. So, all right. And Ian Harris, you picked it up over the last week too. Excellent stuff. Such a good plugin. Works great for math rock. Let's dive into it a bit in a little bit. Let me turn this. I'm gonna turn my humidifier off. The air is so dry at the moment, but I'm worried it will just pick up this mist in the camera. All right. Okay, Nate, you're in class, but you're hyped for this one. Been sneaky. I like that. So 606 hi. Who have we got here? Right. Chibi, good, doing good. All right. All right, Sean Davis, Ian. So hello to everyone. This is cool to see some familiar faces. And if you are new to the live streams, I do these at this time pretty much every Sunday, Monday, whatever time zone you're currently in. And did anybody pick up any good Black Friday sales? I was waiting for a while. I picked up a few pedals, so I got like a because of this plugin, I wanted to really get a harmonizer pedal. So I got that. If you've seen it, the Pitchfork by Electro Harmonics, but I got the plus one because you can have two voices at the same time. The one that's in this this neural DSP plugin, the Tim Henson one, there is multi-voice, so you can have up to 4 voices, which sounds really, really cool. And plus it's like stereo, so it really fills out this the stereo field. So there was that, and then I wanted another tremolo, but I wanted something with tap tempo, and the only one I'm aware of that does that is the JHS the JHS Kodiak pedal. So I've got one of those on the way as well. And then I found out the JHS Spring Tank, which is on one of their episodes of pedals that he says didn't sell very well. But that one's got a an effects loop, so you can just affect the reverb signal. So I'm going to buy one of those before the sale ends, and then I'm thinking about putting that the Boss synth pedal, so we can make some wacky sounds just in the reverb trail. So I'll be playing with that. And then I've been looking to get some kind of delay pedal to do that glitchy delay sound, to get that on the channel and see if I can actually replicate that. And I think it was a couple nights ago somebody listed a DD6 on a secondhand website here, and like it'd been 10 minutes, and I messaged the guy, and it's like, oh, it's already sold, sorry, but if the person doesn't buy it, I'll let you know. So, and then luckily the next day he messaged me saying that person didn't buy it, so you can have it. So I've got a Boss DD6, and if you're not familiar with that pedal, it's got that the tap hold feature that should do that, like that repeated infinite delay kind of sound, so you can get some of those like wacky glitchy kind of things. So looking forward to playing with that one. So let's see, did anybody get anything cool during any cool gear? I think that's all I bought, and some strings. that's not interesting though, right? Okay. All right, just having a look. Okay, does Drew, does Corey Wong have one of these as well? Okay, well, one of these Neural DSP things. Yeah. The half off until November 30th. Yeah. I'm currently using, actually today, I should state that this is not sponsored at all by them. I really don't know much about this. I've just downloaded the 14-day trial, so if I end up loving it, I might pick it up while it's on sale, or one of the other ones, but I'll go through this. Okay, Ginger the Digger, you grabbed the JHS Emperor V2 chorus. Yeah, that sounds like a cool pedal. The core has vibrato and a bunch of stuff on that one as well. Okay, Jeremiah, you got the DD6, excellent stuff. So that's how we're going to try and get that glitchy kind of sound there. Okay, yeah, there's a lot more people here today. Maybe the name dropping in the intro, but what you're not seeing, Collins, is the amount of people that have dropped out. There was about 60 people. Now there's 20. Now there's 22. So they came in, they saw me, and then they left. All right, so potential problem you might have heard in the intro. I should have probably tested this beforehand, but for some reason, the plugin is also affecting my voice because I'm probably going through the same interface. So I need to work out how to do this if it's going to be possible. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep turning it off and then loading it up again every time. I'll show you what I mean if you give me a second here. Oh, no. I wish I'd checked this last night. I mean, I did check that the plugin worked, of course, but I didn't check it with OBS. Like this. Okay, give me a second. I wonder if it bypasses it. Yeah, it does kind of bypass it when I put the tuner on. So I'm thinking we could do it this way, perhaps. Is my voice still the same volume, though? I don't know. Because it's obviously been boosted by the amplifier when I put it through that. Hang on, let me turn it off. And now it should be the same volume still. Yeah, good. So I think we can do this. I think what I'll do is I'll turn the tuner on when I try to talk, and when I talk, sorry, and then obviously, yeah, I'll turn it on when I play it. So let me load that up again. Let's put the tuner on, and then let's add a new window capture. Right, there we go. Okay, and right, so yeah, so I'll just have to do it like this. Half my face might be missing for this video, and we'll put the tuner on, which is quite handy. I probably need that right now. Did anybody check out the new guitar video, by the way? Now I can't get this to work. Where is it? Oh no, this is not going well. So this is how it sounds when it's just direct in. So it's very dry and uninspiring. But this one, if you missed it on Friday, I put out about my new guitar. So I got an American original 60s Finline Telecaster, lovely and light, and just a wonderful guitar. So if you missed that video, you can check that out on my channel. Whoops. I'm gonna have to DJ between these two, unfortunately. Okay, Jeremiah, you're not watched it yet. Excellent stuff. Okay. Right. So backstory. What drew me to this plugin? If you're familiar with the channel, if you've been watching it, I like to do all my effects into my Rev D20 head and then go straight into my audio interface. So I'm not really messing with any latency issues or anything like that. I have all my sound before I go into my audio interface. So the idea with this kind of plugin is that you download it. I'm running it as a standalone thing here, which you can do. You don't need to open any, you don't need to open a digital audio workstation or anything like that. You can run it as a standalone thing, which is what I'm currently doing. And all you need to do is have a guitar lead, a guitar, and plug it straight into your interface. Depending on your interface, you're going to run into latency issues. But if you choose the ASIO drivers, you can get pretty low latency. And I'm using a Scarlett, not Scarlett, sorry, a Claret 2 pre USB, so it's a pretty expensive interface, and it can deal with it. But I'm not sure if anyone else has any input on this using like a more affordable interface. If the latency is non-existent or anything like that, do let others know so they can potentially download this and try it. It is a free trial after all for 14 days, which is pretty generous. And a lot of those trials that other companies give you, they just give you like a limited amount of features, or they stop your sound every 30 seconds or something like that. So this is pretty cool. And if I didn't state this already, yeah, I think I did. Like, this is not sponsored by NeuroDSP or anything like that. This was literally just me checking this thing out. So what initially drew me to this this plugin was the the multi-voice thing, which I had on in the intro there. So what I plan to do now is I'll walk you through how I would set this up for a sound that I like. Obviously, you would set it up to how you would like it, but I'll just go over a few of the features. I'll try to talk as little as possible because of this problem that I should have foreseen, and let's have some fun. Okay, I have to mute this every time as well. So you do get a bunch of presets that you can use, and if you're not familiar with how to dial all these kind of things in, then I recommend starting with a preset and go from there and dial it into how you want it to sound. What I'll try and do is, I wish there was a mute button another way. Currently muted. Yeah, I can't go through I can't go through anything without turning that off. Okay. So what I'll show you now is there's 3 different amp types that you can select at the bottom. And it And as you can hear, the one that was on the left, that's like an acoustic kind of simulator amplifier. The middle is like a straight up middle of the road, like kind of clean setting of an amp. And then the Fire one is going to have, a bit more gain. It's a bit more driven, that one is. So I'm going to stick with the middle one today, and I'll walk you through some of the things that I've found in the very small time that I've been using it, and how to dial in some nice tones that I like anyway. And of course, this is all my own subjective opinions on how these things sound. So yeah, I would encourage you to set this up like you want it to sound. Don't just try and sound like I want it to sound. But I'm just hoping that there's some things you probably haven't thought of that maybe I can show you with this plugin today. And this is all a bit of a learning curve for me as well. I don't usually use these kind of things, so bear with me while I navigate my way through this. And I'll try and get the chat up so I can see that as well, if this is possible. Yeah, there we go. All right, so before I move on any further, okay, so thank you. Before Forever, they said basically 0 latency with the Scarlett, so that's excellent. So, this is like, what, 60, half price at the moment. So if you've got a Scarlett interface on this, you can get some really good guitar tones without having to buy, an expensive amplifier or millions of pedals. So, yeah. Okay, Drew, they said the Polini and the Corey Wong ones are best for mathy tones in your opinion. Okay, I will download those out, and I will also check them out as well. Like I said, what drew me to this is the pitch shifter. I'm not the biggest fan of Polyphia or that style of well, we could say it's like math, prog math or whatever. I don't tend to listen to it too much, but I thought this sounded like a wonderful plugin, so that's hence why I thought we'd do this video today. So before ever, yeah. So Henson is worth it. They said Henson is worth it if you want to mess with the multi-voice. Otherwise, you get more usability with the other two. Okay, interesting stuff. All right. Thanks, Drew, for the beautiful guitar comment. Yeah, ASIO, that's the one, Drew, with a Scarlett 2RT, and the latency is 11 milliseconds. Yeah, that's going to be barely noticeable. Okay. Ruslan, they ask a good question. What do you think of these archetypes? In my opinion, Amplitude is more versatile. I've only used the free version of Amplitude. I haven't really got... I think it's Amplitude, by the way, and not Tude, but I keep calling it Amplitude as well. But the interface on this, to me, feels a lot easier than that. That would be my experience of it so far. Okay, Jeremiah doubling up on that as well. No latency. Excellent. Okay, but you're an amplitude man, though. Okay, yeah, you got it there. Excellent stuff, Spooneel. Dry sound only. Okay. Yeah, Spooneel, I did have that. One of the humbuckers, you know, like the thin line, made in Mexico one. That guitar, like, it was thin line, older body in the Candy Apple Red that I had, but it was heavier than, you know, the American Special. And I didn't get a good one. That's the lottery you play when you buy production guitars, right? So this one, I got a good one. With that one, I didn't get a good one. Nothing, not to say that wasn't a bad guitar. I thought the neck was absolutely fantastic. Just a heavy body, and I just didn't jive with it, basically. Jive with it in the end. So I sold that one off, and I tend to be more of a fan of the single coil sound over the humbuckers. And this is kind of like 1968, I think it was. So when CBS took over Fender, if you notice, it's not a 3-bolt on the back; it's still a 4-bolt. They switched to the larger Telecaster logo at the top. It's still a truss rod, you know, adjustment at the end. So there are some 70s features on it, like the tuning keys, for example, and the logo there. But mostly, it's still got that 60s vibe, which I like about it, and cool surf green color. But now if you look at my collection, it's blue, dark blue, bogey green with the YY10 and then surf green. So I got a nice little color combination going on there. All right, Caden, your mom, yes. Okay, so let's get back on. Okay, you're only hearing the dry sound, really? Doma Cheese, you're not actually hearing the affected sound. Can anybody? Yeah, you're telling me that too, Jonas. Okay, I'll play a bit with it affected, and let me know if it's still just the dry sound. Okay, that would be great. Thanks. Okay, let's try this again. Delay. No. What's going on? Sounds dry. Okay. This is no good. Yeah, apologies. I should have tested that this all was working beforehand. Let me just see if I can let me see if I can route it so we will get the affected. Okay, so sounds dry, but my voice picking it up then, I guess. Right. So now is my voice affected like a distorted guitar with loads of reverb on it? Okay, voice is also dry. Yeah, I've been turning the gain down. That's why. No. All right. Let me see if I can fix this. If not, we'll have to abandon it and try another time and just move to some some general questions. This sucks. Okay, give me a second. Right, so what I'll try to do, I'll try to capture the desktop audio instead. The dryness of thanks Punkster Bass comes from the Britishness. I'm going to capture my desktop audio, and I think this will get it. And then hopefully, even though my voice is affected, it won't come through as well. But we're probably going to get a doubling sound now. Okay. Right, let's try this again. I've unmuted my desktop audio, and let's see if this will work. Nope. I think I need to update my OBS. Okay, properties. Give me a second, I'll try and work this out. All right. So yeah, Drew, I totally agree. Gotta love trying to send your door, but what I could try to do. So basically, I think I know what I've done wrong here. Spaniel, the dry signal, just the dry signal into the interface sounds good. Hey, thanks, TubeAmpCat. Good to see you again. So Caden, yes, I'm sending my dry signal through OBS, and I was hoping it would pick up the audio, but it's obviously not from the Tim Henson thing. Okay, so maybe send the plugin through OBS and settings. Yeah, okay, so let's try to capture an audio, I guess, instead. Audio input capture, there we go. And let's go. So it only gives me HDMI, microphone, analog, USB audio. Yeah. So I was just playing in the intro. It's funny because now I think about, like, I was playing with all these effects on in the intro, and all you were hearing was just this dry signal guitar. Okay, now you've got double audio input capture. No. Does this work though? Maybe if I mute let's try muting this one. Oh, now you're gonna get peaking because I haven't got all my compression on and stuff. Okay. Okay, so now my voice has reverb. Is it been affected by this though? The distorted vocals? Let me know if that worked. Is it distorted reverby or just reverby, Collins? Okay, so thanks, Caden. So it's because the interface is linked to OBS, it can't do two inputs at once. Okay, got you, yeah. Also, right ear is your mic, left ear is guitar. Yeah, so I usually sum those to mono, you see, afterwards. Yeah, okay. Let's just abandon this, otherwise we're going to be here all day, and I just have to rename this video a complete failure. Let me... There we go. Because on my main one, I sum everything to mono, so the left and right input, and I have like compression and stuff to stop it, distorting and stuff. All right. So apologies about that. I'll try and get that to work. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Good call. I'll try and get this to work next time. Ah, damn it. Right, so instead, let's talk about whatever you would like to talk about. And I probably should let's rename the title of this video so no other people join expecting the archetype. What should we rename this video? Okay. Yeah, you should just be able to hear my voice now. Perhaps I'll plug my guitar back into my pedal board and go through there as well. Okay, just going to call this Math Rock Live Chat. There we go. For now, I'll make a title later. So apologies about that, everyone. These things happen. I should have really checked that last night. Yeah, I thought it was all working, but clearly it wasn't, so... Okay, so anyway, yeah, perhaps I'll just make a video about it instead. I'm just still laughing at the intro. I thought like, oh, this, you could see me laughing because the pitch shifter was just not tracking with that. So I'll tell you what. So Rhino, you ask a good question. So how to get that's a good title. How to get beautiful dry guitar tone. But thanks for your help there, Caden. You made it make sense now. I can see why that wasn't working for. Yeah, Collins, too bad. So many viewers today, but oh well. All right, so let's get this train back on the tracks. Let's talk about some stuff that you would like to know. If you've got any questions, throw them my way. I got about 20 minutes before I need to shoot. Okay, here's a good question. So, Be Forever. Why did I take the neck off the Talman? So it's been in a few videos now. As you can see, it's back together now. So on the back of that guitar, you've got the trem, and when I was using the trem, one of the screws decided just to like slowly come out because the hole that whoever drilled it just used like the biggest drill piece ever, so the screw was barely held in there, and I could see other holes that they tried to drill as well. So it wasn't a good day for whoever drilled those holes for the trem, and they're not straight as well. So I had to do a bit of surgery myself. So I drilled the holes so they were level, and then I put some like super glue with like wood chipping dust in it as well, and then I drilled the screws in, and so far it's been good. So now I've got that back together. That was the reason that guitar was apart. And I just took the neck off because when I was doing all of that stuff, I didn't want to obviously bash it around and stuff like that. So that's why that guitar's been in pieces for a while now. It sounded good, Caden? We're still on the dry sound, but it's going to be a bit quiet now. Like no compression, nothing. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Caden. Yeah. So, as always, you can always help each other out if you have questions about this stuff. Yeah, I feel bad. I wish I'd got that working for you now. So, we'll try again another time. So, Chibi, if it's an open-ended question, what are some good scales for math rock? Sorry if it's a basic question. I'm new to this. It's not at all. I don't think there's any scales that really apply to math rock. A lot of the time you're going out of what you would call diatonic, so staying within a key. I like to play diatonic a lot of the time. It's just what I like to hear. I do like those kind of out there kind of sounds though, by borrowing notes from other scales. But there isn't really if I was to say a good scale, I would just say like any traditional Western music is just, it's going to be based off that that major scale and using a major key. What tends to be different though is in like pop music and jazz, the idea is to try and keep the chords as close together as possible. So the movement that you do between the chords, for example, like if you take like a 2, a 2-5-1 in jazz, just for demonstration purposes here. So the movement between those chords is, it's not, you know, big jumps. You could take it like to an extreme. You could start with like and literally try and make every note either a 1 fret higher or like a tone higher, so semitone or tone higher. With that, then. But the idea is that the jumps in the harmony are not so big, but what you tend to find in like math rock, if you're playing like poppy stuff, you'll find chord jumps more like you know, C there to like a G like that. I mean, that sounds like a Mom Jean song, right? But that's a pretty big jump, like from a C to a G like that. All the notes fits, of course, but the spacing, what would you call this? If you take a look at what the definition says on Wikipedia, for example, we could say it's a lot more angular sounding. You know, the jumps are a bit more unexpected, including chords that aren't usually within a progression as well. Like if we take that example just I was playing there again, try and get the guitar in the frame here. It's like a G major chord there, a D/G chord. Like what would your ear naturally want to hear next from there? Especially if I played it like you can think of the ways that chord could go, but if I throw in this chord, right, that's really not that expected. It's not too out there because it's borrowed from, you know, in this regard we would call it the parallel minor of that major scale. This F sharp major chord. It sounds like it fits, right, but it's unexpected. So those are some things that will happen in math rock, and that's all. What I'm trying to say is that's all based around that scale theory as well. So it's like band like Delta Sleep do this all the time, like using like a you know, a major third, a flat major third instead of a minor third. And basically what I'm saying here, to practice this, you could take the key of like C major, and then we would say the parallel minor is you know, C minor in that regard there. So in C major, like diatonically speaking, we would start on that, you know, that C major chord, and then your next chord would be, you know, a D minor, and then an E minor, and an F major. But what you could do is take that third degree, so this E minor, and then you could play it as a E major instead. It'd be E flat major, like that. It fits right, but it sounds a bit out there. So like let's go like C, D, E, F, and we could go up to you know, G as well. And that chord doesn't belong within that progression so much, so we call it like a borrowed chord, that E flat major chord there. So that's like a flat major 3 chord, we would call that. It's just been taken from that C minor scale, C minor scale, but the chord is built from that. I can't really give you all of the music theory in one go. I'm trying to explain this in the most simplest terms, so I'm hoping that it does come across that way. And do let me know if I need to turn up any. Perhaps I'll bring up the voice volume a little bit today. There we go. So that major third. Is one trick you can do. You can do the same with, if we take that key again, if we come all the way up to the 7th degree, we're in C major, right? So we're going to be playing like a B like a B diminished chord there. Instead, we could play a flat major 7th. We could play a B flat major 7. So something like if I was to do that as a C, perhaps. Just thinking of the voice leading a bit better. But yeah, you can definitely bring in that flat major 7 sound for an unexpected sound. So there's that unexpected sound, right? I'm doing all this off the A string just to make it, go up the scale as well. That's the purpose of this. Chibi. So what I've learned from this is I need to learn more music theory. Perhaps so. It does help you. You learn it to forget it, is the sense. So I throw in these chords all the time without really thinking about it. So that's that flat major 3 again in action. Just in a different key this time. And then there's that flat major 3. We could go back again, come to the G. Let's play the A minor. Now let's bring in our flat major 7. And then let's resolve nicely to the tonic. There we go. So I put that in terms of just the A string there. So I'm going through the scale of C major there, so C to C again. So as long as you know your major scale, just take that C minor scale, throw it beneath your C major scale, put the accidentals there, so the flats that are on that key, and then look at the chords that you can borrow. So, and then work out which ones work for you. But they're two really common ones there. So the flat major 3, we call it a flat major 3 because in the original key, it's an E minor chord, right? But when we say it's a flat, this E is flattened down to an E flat or a D sharp, whichever way you want to look at it. So that's why we call it with a flat major 3. The same goes for this major 7th as well, flat major 7th. Originally it would be a B note with that diminished there, but you flattened it, so that's be called a flat major 7. You can do the same thing with flat major 6 as well as another one, so that would be A flat instead. Hope that's starting to make sense for some of you. I've been ignoring the chat, so I went off on a mathis tangent there. So okay. Math IT support. Yes, Reno, that's what I needed there. Hello? Yes. Yeah, I can't work out how to do this OBS. Right. Let's carry on. Let's see what we got then. So we did the neck off the Talman. The Chibi was a good question. Yeah, just all I recommend to you, there's an Andrew Huang video where he just talks about, it's half an hour, and it's just on the basics of music theory, and I recommend watching that and just learn your major scale and know the chords that can be built off the major scale. So your root, which is the 1st and the 4th and the 5th, these are major chords. The 2nd, the 3rd and the 6th are minor chords, and the 7th one is going to be a diminished chord. And in triad terms, basically, when you harmonize it in triads, you have a 1, 3, and a 5. 1, 3, and 5 is major. 1 flat 3rd and 5th is minor, and 1 flat 3, flat 5th is that diminished spelling there. So they're called triads. The next thing is called quadrads. So that's that 7th note that's added on top. So they have a spelling too. So like a major 7 is 1, 3, 5, 7. There's no changes to it, and you get this lovely bit of tension. So if I was to play a major 7, C major 7, you have this interval going on. A lot of tension there, right? I think that makes it a beautiful chord when you put it in context. My favorite chord, the major 9. I'll get to there soon. So that's that spelling there. If we were to make this a minor chord, we need to, the 1 and the 5 is going to stay the same, but our 3rd and the 7th degree are going to get flattened, right, in this regard. So that here, our 3rd is going to be, a flat 3rd. But we also need to bring down the 7th degree as well. 1 as well. Oh, sorry. I went down too far with that one. And there you get the minor sound instead. Root and 5th is always going to be the same. So hence why you can always, apart from diminished chords, you can always take out that 5th degree and it will still have that chord quality of being a minor or major. Major 7 without the 5th. Minor 7 without the 5th. Yeah, is that right? No, sorry. Got that wrong way around. I've been trying to do a lot of sus chords recently. So you have that major sound. Or that minor sound without the 5th degree being in there. So then the minor spelling, would be 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. And then you have something, when it comes to the 5th degree though, the 4th can still be a major. So C major 7, let's say. Your 2nd is a minor, so E minor 7. Next, D minor 7. Next note is going to be F. We can do, remember this is major, F major 7. However, the 5th degree is we call this a dominant chord, so we can't have that major 7 sound. We'll suddenly go out of key if you listen, if I play through. C, D, E, F, and it sounds out, right? Because we need to flatten this note to be within the key. And then we get that, that classic dominant sound. So the spelling for the 5th degree, when you build a quadad off CD, when you build it off G, you have a 1, 3, 5, and a flat 7 instead. So it's kind of a major and minor tonality to it. Because of that flat 7. This is the major 7, and then a flat 7, so minor 7. And they really feel like they want to move, right? They don't want to stay here all day, right? They really want to go somewhere, this chord does. And usually that goes to the tonic. There's a 5-1 resolve that you hear in everything, basically. Yeah. Again, after that, you've got another minor 7. Yeah, A minor 7. And then that's where we come to the B. We've got that flat 5th. So you got your power chord. You take that note down 1. You got that flat note. You bring in the other flat 3 and flat 7. And you have that minor 7 flat 5. And then we're back to the root again. We've been through every chord. So what I'm trying to say here is that the triad and the quadad are very important to naming the chord. For example, if you were to play like a C major chord, just a straight up C major chord, like let's go with this version over here. You're playing that triad, you're repeating some of the notes, but all you're playing there is a 1, 3, and a 5. If you were to replace the 3rd with another degree of the scale, so let's say the 2nd note, now we have something that's called like a sus2 chord. Major chord, major C major, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 5 here. So it has that kind of floaty kind of in between sound of major and minor. So we call that a sus2. If we were to add this note to the chord, so if I was to play, let's go down to G to demonstrate this. There's your straight up major chord. If you were to replace that 3rd and just play 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, that's a sus2 sound. If you bring that 3rd back in here, now we would call that something called an add 9 chord. So that would be a G add 9 chord. So the difference between a sus and an add 9. Sus means the 3rd has been taken out and replaced by the 2nd. add 9 means that the third is still there, but that second degree has been added. And you call it a ninth just for the sake of naming things. Usually it means it's like an octave above the above that original, this note here. Usually like this, for example. We could play it like that, for example. That would probably be more accurate for the name of the chord. Yeah, so that's the difference between like those sus chords and when you have an add chord, so add 9. When you introduce the 7th degree, I'm sorry if this is getting very confusing, but when you introduce the 7th degree into that chord, and if you introduce that 9th degree, so like an add 9 sound into it, so we've got the root, 3rd, 7th, and 9th. Now you would call that chord a major 9 chord. You wouldn't call it a major 7 add 9. Okay, so it's just solely that's what it is now when you bring the 7th degree in there as well. So what I'm trying to say is that the 1, 3, and a 5, the original triad, and a quadad, the 7th, are the important things to know about when it comes to naming a chord in a progression like that. Okay. And I've probably bored lots of people to death there, but that's the things I find that are essential to know. So if you just go and watch, like I said, that Andrew Huang video, like it's like a half-an-hour introduction to music theory, some of the stuff I said there hopefully will start to make sense to you. Okay, so carrying on. Okay, Spooner, that's a good question. Any plans on getting the new Yvette Young signature telly that's coming out soon? No, I haven't got any, but I'm kind of like, wish I'd got that now because it's got my favorite pickup combination. But then I thought to myself, it's good to have like I've got too many telly style guitars, so it's good to have that Strat availability. So I probably won't get it. I have too many guitars already, unless if they were, if Ibanez were like, would you like to try one? Then that would probably be the only way I would get one. With my thoughts at the moment anyway. Okay. All right, so carrying on down. Okay, I haven't tried. Okay, have you seen the Bare Knuckles Polymath pickups? Okay, no, that's interesting. I'll check that out. Rhino, good question. Favorite chord progression? I always seem to get stuck on a 1 and a 4 back and forth. Yeah, the same. I'm definitely a fan of the 4-1 kind of progression or 1-4. Depends on the feel you're going for. If you're going for that kind of uplifting feeling, going through diatonically, going through the scale, you can get an uplifting kind of feel. So like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then back to 1. Yeah, there's that kind of feeling, right? I could have a 4. Or you could, make it a slash chord. So you'll find that happens a lot because when you, like I said, when you go to that 5th degree, it doesn't fit. So you have to make it either dominant or you get around it by not playing that 7th degree, right? So, which is what I tend to do. So I play like a, major 6-9 kind of shape instead there to get around that dominant sound, but nothing wrong with keeping it in there. Playing like a dominant 9 sound instead. So that's why I feel like a lot of math rock, you hear that 4-1 progression a lot. The 4-1 kind of replaces the 5-1 in that regard to get around that dominant sound. Unless if you're going like, you like more of that math prog kind of sound. There's a lot of dominant sound in that style of music. Yeah, but I'm like you. I'm definitely around that 4-1 territory. Like classic example is Incandescent is, what's that? G major, right? So that's a 4-1 progression as well. And then you got this 6, right? I think that's a borrowed chord in that regard. Yeah, it depends on the feeling you're going for, what feeling I want the chord progression to have. Sometimes they just write themselves. Tri-signal guitar. But great question. Speaking of that, Rhino, I have been last night actually. Where was it? It's literally right here. I was trying to make some kind of math rock chord Midwest emo kind of video, and need to think about, like, I want to take it from the stuff I just told you and try and make it as simple and easy to follow as possible, like how to build these chords that sound good, for math rock. You change that major chord and you make it like that sus, major 7 sus2 chord. Again, the 7th and the 3rd determine the tonality of the chord, if it's major or minor, so you could take out the 3rd degree but still have the major 7 in there, like the shape I'm still playing, and it would be considered major 7, but we say sus2 because the 3rd has been replaced. Could play a sus4 chord as well in this position. Sounds lovely. Yeah, so there's that. Again, I digress, go off track again. But thanks for the question, Rhino. It's a really good one. I'm definitely, most of my progressions do center around the 1 and the 4. Sometimes I don't even get back to the 1. I just float around that 4 sound instead, which doesn't make a sound resolve, so it gives it a very uneasy kind of feeling. And if you look at a lot of American football stuff, does this as well. There's a paper I worked out like the progressions in American football songs just to see what was going on, and a lot of it was just the 4 was kind of the tonic, and it never went back to the roots. There's that Japanese chord progression that I did, which starts on the 4, goes to the 5, it's like an F sharp major. What was it again? It goes to the 5th, then the 6th, and then what would that be? The 3rd, and then the 6th. It's diatonically speaking, so like the 4th sound, 5th sound, 5th sound, minor 3rd, minor 6th. So that song loops around a 4 progression as well, and never goes to the tonic, right? So what would the tonic be there? Like a C sharp major chord, right? Yeah, so there's plenty of examples of that. Okay, but forever. I heard the QC wasn't amazing. A lot of the stuff that comes out of the Indonesian factory, again, it's like any guitar. If you get a good one, you get a good one. And so the rest of the guitar was fine, to be honest. It was just that happened recently. So, making multiple quantity of stuff is bound to go wrong. And that's been my general experience of anything that I've played out of, that was made from the Indonesian factory. So, but it's just like any guitar, like you can get a bad one of these, that's for sure. It's just less likely to happen, basically, fit and finish wise. So like that I got a good American Special Telecaster. It's light, everything it just works. I just love that guitar, but I'm sure there's plenty of them that don't feel like that. So you got to get the right one. So my advice to you, if you've got if you buy a guitar online, especially if you can't just get yourself to a shop and try one, then as long as they got a return policy, if you're not happy with it initially, then don't try and love that guitar. Just send it back and try either get the same guitar again from somewhere else and see if that solves the problem. I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass to do that, but you want to get the guitar that you like in that regard. And I've made that mistake many times. Okay, right. What time is it? Oh, I need to get going. My class starts now, so just give me a second, everyone. This was a great chat today, though. I wish I could have gone a bit longer, and I apologize about what happened as well. So, right. Just need to get my Zoom started for my class. Apologies. All right, I got one last question, and then I need to shoot. I didn't realize the time. And thanks for all these questions down here, Punkster Base. There was one question. Okay. Right. Knowledge. Yeah, just try out some theory stuff. Just watch a bunch of videos. It's going to help you. My advice is, like, in my math rock book, I have about that, like just the simple major scale and, you know, the chords you can build off that. So learn that kind of stuff first. That will really help you. That's all you need to know. Don't feel like you need to go up and beyond that. Okay. Right. Okay, Rhino, you're super helpful. That's great. Someone asked about mountains. I missed the question, but today I'm happy to announce that the drums are being recorded by Joel. He's got our backing tracks. He's going into the studio. He's in Mexico at the moment, and he's going to lay down the drums to the next Mountains album, and then it's all going to go from here. It's going to be a slow process, but I'm excited to get started on that. And yeah, so I teach Fish Tank. I teach English as a second language to university students over here. Right. He's a bro Fish Tank. That name is amazing. All right, I gotta shoot. I'm keeping my class waiting. I shouldn't be. So thanks for joining today, everyone. I'll see you all next Monday, and I have some videos coming this week. There'll be something on Wednesday, then there'll be the main video on Friday. All right, thanks for hanging today, everyone, and apologies, the stream, it didn't go so well. All right, see you later, everyone. Thanks, Punks the Bass. See you, Sean.